Today on the Common Constitutionalist, we discuss Bowe Bergdahl, and he had his desertion planned all along. We discussed a new type of sexuality, the pansexual. Don't ask. Well, maybe you could ask. Kids thought that they had rid themselves of Michelle Obama's food program during the summer. Don't count your chickens, kids. And Rick Santorum is claiming that we are fighting a politically correct war.
You're listening to the Common Constitutionalist, broadcast from an undisclosed location, free from the prying eyes of establishment black helicopters.
Yes, Bowe Bergdahl had it planned all along. Maybe not all along, but weeks before he deserted. Apparently, he had planned this whole thing. He had planned to desert weeks prior to him actually walking out the gate. Fox News reported that squad mates who served with Bergdahl 6 years ago said that he had trained himself to sleep on concrete. He collected contact information, sent his computer home, and talked about becoming a mercenary and openly wondering whether he could walk to India, which is 1,000 miles away. I guess he didn't make it to India because he got captured by the Taliban. Come, Mr. Taliban. So this news is coming out over a year later, and several of Bergdahl's former colleagues, soldiers, also claimed that Joint Chiefs Chairman Admiral Mike Mullen knew about the desertion in 2009. One of his fellow soldiers, Sergeant Matt Verkant, asked Mullen if he knew that Bergdahl had deserted, and he told him, the sergeant, that he knew of the circumstances surrounding his walking off. So Mullen knew ahead of time, and that he could have warned Obama that Bergdahl had indeed deserted and saved everybody all this pain and trouble, as well as sending out national security liar Susan Rice, who said that Bergdahl served honorably, which he most certainly did not. So they knew all this ahead of time. And how many of his fellow soldiers got killed looking for this dirtball? I can't remember the exact count, but it was more than just a couple, that's for sure. And what a waste. What an absolute freaking waste. Getting killed looking for this bag of dirt. And coincidentally, this revelation, so to speak, has come about the same time that those 5 senior Taliban leaders are due to be released from Qatar, or Qatar, or whatever you want to pronounce it. But that's okay, since they've been in a 12-month travel ban and monitoring program within the country of Qatar. We all know Qatar, the probably the number 2 sponsor of terrorism worldwide, after Iran, maybe number 3. The Saudis are dirty too, but I'm sure the Bergdahl Five have been in seclusion. Haven't been able to contact anybody, make any arrangements to join back up with the terrorist organization or any terrorist organization. I'm sure that that's what's been happening over there in Qatar. What's probably been happening in Qatar is the Bergdahl Taliban Five have been plotting and planning, making arrangements to go back to the Taliban or some other organization as senior leaders, to carry out more terrorist strikes, either in the Middle East, Europe, who knows, United States, who the heck knows where these guys are going to show up, but you know darn well they're going to show up somewhere. They may not be the ones pulling the trigger because these guys are seniors, not seniors like we would think, but senior Taliban leaders, although they are, I guess they are getting up there. And they've lived a hard life. So I guess maybe they are seniors. Now, regarding the Taliban Five, Representative Adam Schiff, he's the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, said, "My point all along that I'm more worried about the month number 13 than the first 12 regarding the Taliban Five when they get released." As well he should be. And claims have come out that at least one of the Taliban Five, or the Bergdahl Five, I guess, has already been in contact with some other militant organization, with terrorists. I don't know why they call them militants. They insist on calling these people militants. They're terrorists. Plain and simple, folks. But fear not, for the United Nations is on the case. Yes, the UN is on the case. So we have nothing to fear but everything. Because after the Taliban Five are released, they will still be on the United Nations blacklist, which freezes their assets, and they're on a separate travel ban. So we have nothing to fear. We should rest easy. The problem is that a report late last year, the UN Sanctions Committee stated, you're going to love this, regrettably, the monitoring team continues to receive a steady, albeit unofficially confirmed, flow of media reports indicating that some listed individuals have become increasingly adept at circumventing the sanctions measures and the travel ban in particular. So, once again, the UN has proved to be the useless piece of crap organization that it is. So, ain't life grand? The UN is on the case. Bergdahl is an honorable soldier, sure, and the Taliban Five are going to go off into the sunset, collect their Taliban pension because they're seniors, and everything's going to be hunky-dory. That's terrific.
You're listening to the Common Constitution. Let the truth be known.
So, does anyone know what a pansexual is? No. If you were to guess that it is a strange desire for cookware, no, that is not what a pansexual is. The definition, well, there's several different definitions for pansexual. All of them are absurd, but here's one of them. Definition: pansexuals have the capability of attraction to others regardless of their gender identity or biological sex. Okay? A pansexual could be open to someone who is male, female, transgender, intersex, or agendered / genderqueer. I mean, come on, people. There's two. Count them. A 1, a 2, a male, a female. That's all there is. But I guess evidently that isn't all there is. There is a Texas lawmaker, Representative Mary Gonzalez, Democrat from Clint, Texas, is a member of the Texas House from El Paso area, at least. And she's the nation's first openly pansexual legislator. And she says that she tries to change minds among her colleagues in both parties by fostering a familial bond, which she believes goes a long way toward helping people overcome a lot of their prejudice. Well, ain't that grand? She says that people get very confused about pansexuality. Gee, I wonder why that is. It's so funny. Oh, jeez. Are we the most bored society on the planet? Are we so rich? Are we so affluent that we can spend our time making up crap like, several different genders and sexualities? Is that what our problem is? Because it never used to be this way. There's no way in heck that anyone can tell me that back in the 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s or whenever, that there was gender queers, agenders, intersex, well, there might be transgenders, I don't know, pansexuals, I don't even know. But at any rate, she says that the pansexual is very distinct from bisexual because it defines an individual who is attracted to various gender identities. What did I just... Didn't I just say there were only two? But anyway, in 2012, after first being elected, noting that she dated transgender and genderqueer people. Well, that's just terrific. She says, when I first came out in politics, I used to say I was LGBT identified. I don't even know what that is. And the media took that as, well, she must be lesbian, as opposed to having more complex understanding to our sexual community. Basically, this woman is a hose bag. She'll sleep with anything or anyone, and basically that's about it. I don't know if that's what pansexual is. I don't even know. She says that changing... I'm struggling to get through this one, folks. I don't know, man. It just cracks me up. Changing minds by exposing people to the diversity of gender isn't easy, she says, but it can be done. Yeah, it is. There are two, remember? Male and the female, and that's it. But she wasn't just elected to be a pansexual legislator. She's also on the Agricultural Committee. So she gets to talk to a lot of conservative members, and we are passionate about supporting agriculture in Texas. Does that mean as a pansexual she's going to develop a strange attraction to corn or soybeans next? What's next on the agenda for pansexuals? I've had enough of this nonsense.
You're listening to the Common Constitutionalist. Let the truth be known.
So Rick Santorum has announced that he's going to be running for president yet again. I kind of liked Santorum last time, certainly more than I did Romney. He's still kind of a big government guy. He's kind of conservative, kind of not. I don't know about Santorum. I like him. I think he's a good guy, good family guy, religious guy, good on social issues and whatnot. But he's still kind of a big government kind of guy, or at least he used to be. We'll see how it works out this time. But anyway, he claims that we are running a politically correct war in Iraq and Syria. Wow, there's a shocker. He says that most of the information I hear, we're flying about 14 to 20 sorties a day over there, which is very little, and boy, you ain't kidding, that is very little. I've also heard reports that only about 30... Now, this is a good one. This is a really good one. You guys need to hear this. I also heard reports that only about 30% are actually dropping any ordnance because of the rules of engagement that we have, that we can't harm anyone else, any civilian casualties, because the White House doesn't want any blowback. Now, we already knew this stuff. If you've listened or read my stuff, we already knew about the pitiful amount of sorties relative to the Iraq War, or relative to any other wars prior. So he says that we're fighting a politically correct war. We're fighting a public relations war. Well, we've been doing that for decades. We're not really fighting a war to win. And when you don't fight a war to win against somebody who wants to win, you're not going to win. He told that to Megyn Kelly on her show on Fox News. He said that the ISIS guys aren't playing by the rules, as another big shocker, that the folks aren't playing by any of the rules and they aren't constrained by any of the norms of conduct that any state would be. But he also said that Santorum said that the U.S. should boost its bombing campaign. You can't do that unless you have more boots on the ground. Here we go with the boots on the ground. So you have to have an understanding of targeting. You understand the coordination of troops. That's the whole combination of things. And I'm not talking about a massive invasion force. Santorum noted that many of the generals who have commented on Obama's strategy or lack thereof, that is, have recommended a doubling or tripling of the 3,000 U.S. troops currently in Iraq. Even 10,000 troops wouldn't be anywhere near enough, or anywhere near the troop levels of 2003. And he said that if the U.S. doesn't start winning the war against ISIS over there, we're going to start to see casualties in the United States. Well, here's the deal, Rick, and everyone else on the planet that thinks we need boots on the ground, massive amounts of boots on the ground. And the reason why they think we need massive amounts of boots on the ground is that you can't win a war by air campaign alone. And I'll grant you that to a certain extent, but we haven't won a war by an air campaign alone for a long time because our leaders don't have the political will, to do what's necessary to win a war by an air campaign, or at least do everything but mop up. The boots on the ground can do the mop-up campaign after you've bombed these people into oblivion, but that's never going to happen. Now, our military, they can do the job, but they're handcuffed to the point where they can't do the job. So that's why everybody says we need lots of boots on the ground. We haven't had a concerted air campaign since Vietnam, when we dropped huge amounts of dumb bomb ordnance on the North Vietnamese by our thousands of B-52s at the time, and we virtually forced the North Vietnamese into surrender almost. They came to the negotiating table. Once they got to the negotiating table, we stopped the bombing, which led them to regroup, get help from the Chinese, and defeat us, because we didn't have the will to continue to bomb. Nixon didn't have the will to continue to bomb. Pure and simple, that's that. And we will never, ever win another war if this type of attitude continues. If we can't bomb inconspicuously, wipe out whole cities if need be, we're never going to win another war. We're going to win every battle because our military is the best on the planet, but we will never, ever win another war. We'll never have any lasting peace because of victory, and it's that simple. You cannot win a war by sending special ops guys in and targeting specific pinpoint strikes. That's not going to get you anywhere. Sure, it's going to win a couple of regional battles, but it ain't going to win you a war. They know it, we know it, everybody knows it. It's summertime and the living is easy. You would think the summertime and the living is easy. Well, kids, you just when you thought you could get away from Michelle Obama's Nazi, Hitlerian food program, lunch program at school, think again, kiddies, because she's back and bigger than ever. And certainly more bossy than ever. This report comes from St. Paul, Minnesota, and it seems that government-sponsored food trucks will be stocking children this summer with a goal of giving out thousands of healthy free lunches, because officials don't trust the parents to provide them with a good meal. And this is because naturally because the feds in the states have so much extra money lying around that they can fund this type of program. It's for the children, for the children's. For the children. Oh, brother. So according to the St. Paul District Director of Nutrition Services, I love it, Stacy Copen, she said that the truck will be driving around to different locations between 10:30 a.m. and 5 p.m., and it will track down students at spots like suggested basketball courts or fields where kids like to play. I'm sure it will also, being a government vehicle, have monitoring devices on it that will track the little children and make sure that all the children have parental guidance, because if the children are out at the park by themselves, the children will be absconded by the officials. The police will be called, the children will be taken away, and then the parents will eventually be notified that they're bad parents and they had to take their kids away. So that's what the lunch truck's going to be. It's going to be like the NSA lunch truck. So this food van, there was a picture of this food van, and it looks like one of those ice cream trucks, but it is decked out, baby. It's got a big old poster of kids and of teens, and it says, "Get your free meals here." And the district apparently didn't offer details on how the new program is financed, shocking, and how much the truck is going to cost. And the news station that originally reported on this didn't bother to ask. They probably didn't want to know the answer, or they didn't want to report on the answer, because we all know what the answer is going to be. And also, school officials assured people that the truck will be manned by volunteers. Right, volunteers who get paid. Guarantee you, they ain't volunteers. They're not freebies. So Director Copen said, it's Copen, said that the district serves about 29,000 lunches a day during the school year, but only 6,000 a day during the summer. So officials reasoned a truck is necessary to make sure students aren't starving. Students are starving. Whatever happened to the obesity problem? Heck, McDonald's is going broke because they're afraid to push hamburgers and French fries on the young little skulls full of mush, hat tip rush. Because they're all a bunch of fatties. And now we don't want the kids starving to death. Which one is it, guys? Which one is it? And other states are doing this too. Maybe in a state like yours. It's in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's also in Colorado, New York, Massachusetts, Indiana, California, and Tennessee. Now, I get Massachusetts, I get Colorado, New York, California. Indiana, that's a little weird. Tennessee? I didn't know Tennessee was this liberal. I guess, although it seems to be heading that way. But the Department of Agriculture has admitted that they are going to be paying for all the food and everything, all the meals and whatever. The USDA will also pay for food and staff labor. I thought the staff was going to be volunteers. Isn't that interesting? They will not, however, say the USDA said that they won't be funding the cost of the truck or running it. So somebody else will be funding that, no doubt. So, kiddies, word of warning. If you're out playing at the basketball court between the times of 10:30 and 5 p.m., or you're out playing foosball with your friends on the football field, and you see a Michelle Obama food truck pull up, run the other way. Knock your friends down if you have to. You don't have to be faster than a truck. You just got to be faster than your friends. Run away, or you're going to get saddled with some slop that a Michelle's going to make you eat. And if they give it to you, they probably have some cop or something like that, some food police Nazi standing over you, making sure you ate it all. So that's all I got for today. Have a great balance of the weekend. I plan to, and y'all have a great day.